in the same Aso Rock, some of them that were originally in the PDP, or perhaps they are even still in the PDP, in an interview that you granted Sunday Trust also at that time, the president's wife has also complained about some of these elements and the fact that they were making it difficult for the president to proceed at the right pace to guarantee Nigeria's growth and development. Many people have also said that some of these elements are openly working for the candidate of the PDP. The governor of Rivers State said about 3 months ago that the candidate of the PDP was being led to believe by people in the villa that he will be elected president of Nigeria. Don't you think it's about time that these elements who are trying to cause your party to be hated by Nigerians are unmasked?
Look, unmasking them is not as joyful as defeating them. They will be unmasked in time. But we have defeated them when they wanted their own people in the National Working Committee of the party. We have defeated them when they wanted their own anointed person to be the presidential candidate without due regard to due process or even respect for those of us that are governors that have slaved to put this party together, campaign for it, and deliver the election twice. Okay? We didn't matter. We are governors, we have problems. Governors are corrupt. Governors are bad. Governors, everything is governors. Meanwhile, none of them has contested an election as councillor. And if they did, they won't win. I have been elected twice with over 1 million votes as governor of Kaduna State. I can claim to speak for the people. None of these people can. We'll come to the unmasking stage. This is not the stage. The stage now is to draw the attention of Nigerians that there are elements that are doing this and they don't mean well for our party. They want to incite voters against our party so that we lose the elections. Now, once Nigerians know that, then they will know where some of these funny decisions are coming from. And once the election is done and settled, by the grace of God, in about 3 weeks, and I'm confident, and we are not sleeping. We are going to work hard from today, flat out, until 27th, when all the results are out, and by the grace of God, Asiwaji is elected and our other candidates of the APC, then we will unmask them. But this has been an ongoing issue, and you know, we just feel that some of these things that are being, thought of and clothed with good intentions, and dummies being sold to the president so that the electorate will be incited, the people of Nigeria will be inflicted needless pain at this point, in addition to all the other challenges that they are facing, just so that they will, revolt and say, look, we'll vote for the other party. It is clear. And if you read the statement coming from the other party yesterday, after I spoke about the need to look at the time granted for this currency swap. We are not against the policy, okay? Cashless is the way to go. We have no problem with it, but you don't do it in a few weeks. Allow time for every farmer, trader, student, market woman in the village and in the cities to be able to take their money to the bank and get new currency, or where they are doing their business, take the bullion van there with security, change their money and give them. Don't say that POS, I have a map of Nigeria with blind spots where there is no network. POS won't work there. It's not everywhere that you have bank branches. It's not where you have POS working. So let's sit and look at this thing and find out the reasonable time that it takes to do this. And even the Central Bank Act that gives the president the power to issue to the central bank directives regarding currency design said that reasonable time must be given before the currency ceases to be legal tender. The question is a few weeks reasonable time in a country of 1 million square kilometers and over 200 million people? How many bank branches are in Nigeria? How many ATM machines? We have only 23,000 plus ATM machines in Nigeria. How many bank branches? In Borno State, there are only 2 local governments out of 27 with a bank branch. In Yobe, 2 local governments out of 17 with bank branch. Even a cosmopolitan state, relatively in the north, like Kaduna, has 2 local governments that have no bank branches and about 10 that have only 1 bank branch. So everyone in that local government must come to that 1 branch. And this POS that you are seeing in every street of Lagos, do you think you have POS in every street of Kubau and Ikara and Makarfi, which are local government headquarters in my state? You don't.
Your Excellency, the statement issued by the PDP presidential candidate says it is those who are trying to rig the election that are asking for an extension. Now, look, the other part of the thing is, the other part of my question is, the president has not been attending some of the presidential campaigns and is sending the wrong signal that he does not want Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win. He promised to be in Ogun State, he did not go. He promised to be in Kwara, he did not go. What is the relationship, how cordial, how chummy is the relationship between Asiwaju and the president at this time?
Okay, let me answer the first part of your question. First, the fact that the presidential candidate of the PDP, who last week was issuing statements appealing for extension because he wanted to gain sympathy, because the policy was hurting APC and he wanted to gain sympathy. And we didn't want to come out and speak against our party and our president and our CBN governor. But this week, because of a mere extension of 10 days, he's turning around to say that don't extend, means there is something. He is clearly benefiting from this pain that Nigerians are going through. Every day, till today, I have seen protests in Lagos. I have reports of people in Kaduna that cannot buy food and they cannot sell because there are no currency notes around. But the presidential candidate of the PDP is saying, don't extend, because he's gaining from it. The incitement of people against the APC is, in his view, to his advantage. And this incitement is stronger in the north, in northern Nigeria, where Atiku hopes to benefit from. That's one. Secondly, you should know that the presidential candidates of other parties, other than NNPP, have very close relations with some banks and they even own some of them. So they can get the currency while we can't. So this is why he's saying this. And I want Nigerians to understand very carefully how someone who last week was saying extend it is now saying don't extend. What is there about extending the time for market women and villagers and fishermen to extend their currency that amounts to rigging election? If Atiku Abubakar or anybody is talking about, oh yes, if you extend, there will be vote buying. Is Naira the only currency that you can buy votes? You can go across to Niger and buy CFA, CFA franc. If the dollar is too big, you can go across and buy CFA franc and use it. And CFA franc, after elections, can be converted into Naira, the new currency. So that's not a solution to vote buying. The vote buying argument is just hiding behind one finger. When you don't have your facts, you don't have your logic correctly, you get something absurd and hide behind it. Naira is not the only currency to do vote buying. You can use any currency. You can use dollar.
So, Governor, There are a lot of, away from this CBN policy now.
Sorry, let me answer. Let me go to the second part of your question, okay, and then you can ask me. Now, it is not true that President Buhari is not attending our rallies. The first major rally we had was in Jos Plateau State. That was the inaugural. He was there, and he spoke well. And he said, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is his Khalifa, is his successor. That was Jos. After that, the next big rally we had was Kano. And I saw the president. I said, Mr. President, you are not in Kano. Kano is your place. People of Kano love you. He said, I was not invited. I was not scheduled. That was when we now went to the campaign council and had him scheduled for Adamawa, for Yobe. And in Adamawa, he not only raised Asiwaju's hands and said, this is my successor, this is my Khalifa, and we are lucky as a party to have him as a candidate because of the great things he did in Lagos and so on and so forth. He said the same thing in Yobe. Yes, he was supposed to go to Kwara, but an international engagement made him to leave and he couldn't go to Kwara. And he asked the vice president to represent him, but the vice president had a conflict too and couldn't go. I don't know what happened about Ogun, but on the day he was supposed to be in Ogun, he was somewhere else. I think he was in Kano or Katsina or Jigao or something else. So there was a mix-up. It is not true. President Buhari gave birth to the APC, along with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and Ogbonaya Onu and some people. He will never work against the APC. He will never do that. He may not go out of his way to help us like other presidents used to do, rig elections for their party. He has that integrity. He will not lift a finger to give us an advantage, but he will never work against us. It is not true. It is those elements that are doing these things and using his name. I know Buhari well enough to swear by the Quran and by the Almighty God, and I'm a Muslim, that he will never be part of that. None of them even has the audacity to even approach him on the subject. And President Buhari will go to other campaign stops, you will see going forward, but you have to understand he has the primary responsibility of running the country. And as president of Nigeria, it is his job when he speaks as president to say that, you know, I will do everything to make sure there is security, level playing field, and so on. But when he is with us as an APC leader, he endorses our candidates. He praises Asiwaju, and the relationship between them is excellent. All those that are putting those rumors are wishing that would happen.